Hello, it's week 14 of season 5 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is 3 Wishes for Opie. Barney?
Helen is mad at Andy that I've been spreading it around town that the two of them are going to get married. And so Andy comes to me and he demands an explanation. He says that if that were to happen, that they would be the first to know about it and that they would tell me. He says to stay out of this area of their lives. And I say, I'm out. It's out of my hands. It's out of your hands. None of us has any control over it. Countess Vandelecki is the one who decided that you and Helen are going to be married. And Andy wants to know what I'm talking about, and so I explain. I say that a few days ago, Goodler and I went to a police auction in Mount Pilot, and I bought a box that they had confiscated from the band of gypsies.
And Andy wants to know if you believe in any of that magic stuff. And you say, oh yeah, they're doing a lot with ESP in the Himalayas. And things have happened in the world that have never been explained.
So Andy leaves, and I take the box into the back room at the courthouse. And I find an old-fashioned lamp in it, and some dust, and a book that says that if I light the lamp and sprinkle the dust on it, then it will evoke the spirit of Countess Vandelecki. And I try it, and then Goodler comes in. And I tell him what I'm doing, and he gets scared and leaves. And then Opie comes in, and I offer to tell him his fortune using some cards that I also found in the docks. And it turns out Opie gets 3 wishes.
So he wishes for a jackknife, and then y'all hear Andy come in the courthouse, so you go out to the front room, and Andy gives Opie a jackknife that he says he found. And then Andy says he smells something burning, and you say, oh, that smell will be gone in a minute.
And the next day, Andy sees me reading a book on psychic phenomenon by Dr. Nerl Osnan. And I say, you know, he has a very interesting background. He used to teach the guitar before he went into this. Andy, there are forces loose on this earth that you wouldn't believe. I tell you, it'd make your hair stand on end. It is entirely possible that there are forces in the atmosphere that are able to control our fate. And Andy says, this sounds like nonsense, like Aladdin's lamp or something. And I say, did you ever see that lamp? If you've never seen that lamp, then don't talk. Never having seen the lamp, I cannot discuss the subject intelligently. And then Opie comes in, all happy, that Aunt Dee said that his pa said that he'd take Opie to Raleigh if he got a D in arithmetic on his report card tomorrow. And Andy says, don't get your hopes up. Your grades have been mostly C's and C pluses. So Opie tells me, after Andy leaves, that his second wish is for a D in arithmetic. And I say, let's wait and see.
And then Opie ends up barely getting a B in arithmetic, and you think it's because he made that wish. So you try one more test of the lamp. You get Floyd and Goober together, and you light the lamp and throw the dust on the flame again, and you say the count is now in the room.
And the cards we turn over say that we get one wish. And I wish for a new fingerprint set that we've been needing, and that I requisitioned from the county 6 months ago. And then we hear footsteps come in and footsteps go out. And I go out to the front room to investigate, and there's a new official fingerprint set sitting there. And I take it to the back, and I tell Goldner and Floyd, gentlemen, I have the following announcement to make. Countess Vandelecki exists.
But it was just there because Andy had brought it in and left it there. It had just come in at the post office. And then Opie comes in the next day and says to you that he knows what his third wish is.
And I say, have you given it a lot of thought? Because this is your last one. You got to make it a good one. And he says, I wish Miss Crunt. And then he hesitates, and I say it's a great one. And I assume he's wishing for Miss Crunt and his pa to get married. And I say, you don't even have to finish, Olt. It's in the bag. You just run along. Don't you worry about it. Oh, this is great. It's just great. And then Opie leaves, and I tell Sarah and Thelma Lou on the phone. So when Andy and Helen hear about it, they come down to the courthouse, and they say, forget it. It ain't gonna happen. And I say, but it is. Andy, Why don't you roll with the punch? This is it. D-Day. Shoes and rice time. Accept it. This is a sure thing. Opie wishes it, and it's gonna be. But they say this wish is not coming true. Maybe someday, yes, but not now. And they say I should throw all that stuff away. So I start to do that.
And then Opie comes in and says he hasn't heard about his third wish yet. And Andy says, Opie, things don't happen just because you wish them, especially wishes concerning other people. And then that's when it becomes clear that Opie wasn't wishing for a marriage. He was about to say, before you interrupted him when he was making the wish, that he wishes Miss Crump would go on being his teacher, even in the 6th grade.
And then Helen says that she just heard that she will be transferred to the 6th grade next year. So I start taking all that stuff back out of the trash can. And later at Andy's house, Helen and Andy are trying out the cards for fun. And they end up getting one wish. And Helen says she wishes for a marriage in June. And then I come in with a newspaper where it says that they're planning a wedding totally in June. And I say, I don't know how this got in the paper. I just wanted you to know, and I didn't do it.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week for episode 15.